the best.
Yeah, perhaps slightly relieved. Well, this second game here sees the home club, the Ibiza Rugby Club, taking on the Barefoot projects. Well, I think it looks as if it's going to be Daryl Chapman taking control of this game once again. So playing from left to right, Ibiza in the black, white and red hoop shirts, and from right to left, the Barefoot projects. It's another game in the men's Pool 2 open competition here. And our referee, Daryl Chapman, the one working hardest at the moment, John, his second game of the evening.
Well, I've just discovered what's happened, because he wasn't scheduled to do 2 in a row, but he was down here as the referee's elite manager for a meeting with us, and there's been a problem with the coach bringing the other referees down, so Daryl's got to do it all.
Well, I'm sure he'll take this all in his stride. A good take by the Barefoot projects. Already trying to go through the middle, trying to sense a gap in this Ibiza midfield. Knocked forward though. And a scrum down, an opportunity to see the home side effectively, John, at the first breakdown.
Yeah, and it's very good to see them with the team in. They hadn't had a team in for a couple of years. And a good sign that rugby here on the island is flourishing, and it'll be, as you say, be a very interesting bit to see the sort of standard that they're managing to play to.
I'm sure this scrum will give us a good indication. The Barefoot project's putting some weight behind that one. Good work by the Ibiza scrum half, managing to get it away, but he's fumbled that. Falls into a black and white pair of hands. The Barefoot projects with firm footings, trying to work their way down the far touchline, cutting back inside, trying to find a hole. Isolated though, and a great steal at the breakdown.
Yep, good turnover, straight in there, and they have possession back again.
Well,
this man looks to me as if he can run.
Opened up before him there, didn't it? Parting of the waves by the Ibiza number 16, and take another look at this again. Galloping away almost, John.
Well, I think there's a lot more pace there. Be fascinating to see, but watch out for him.
Well, perhaps wouldn't have predicted Ibiza to take the lead. We asked what sort of quality and standard they can bring to this tournament this weekend. And we'll see their junior counterparts tomorrow in a bit of a junior round robin against some teams from Mallorca. Again, another solid take under the high ball, although currently lacking a scrum half. Projects trying to find some space down this far touchline, stepping back inside, brushing off a few Ibiza's shoulders. Great pop off the floor.
Yeah, the Ibiza defence none too strong, but just managing to hold the Barefoot project in check, and now they've got the ball back. Lacking
a bit of depth in the backs, but Ibiza managing to get over the gain line. Needing some options.
Again, good little dart. They've set it up, but there's no scrum half there. That's a penalty. But in the first penalty, actually against Ibiza, sealing the ball off, basically.
Well, a chip over the top by the Barefoot project, still going. And collected by their right wing, who chased hard down the touchline. Actually haven't got a name for that man, but the Ibiza number 22, as he went to pick it up, it got knocked backwards by his right foot. Barefoot projects profiting.
They can't make the conversion though, so 7-5 the lead to Ibiza.
Well, the home side, John, will be looking to try and get it into their hands of their paceman who opened the scoring in this game. But again, a few handling errors.
Yeah, which is what, to be honest, I sort of expected from the Ibiza side. That didn't go 10. So Ibiza get the free kick from halfway.
Chest pass, trying to go down this right wing, Ibiza.
Nice offload after the tackle there from the Ibiza number 4. Knock on there, advantage with Barefoot. Daryl Chapman calling advantage over.
Opportunity for Barefoot projects to run from deep, cutting through the midfield. Still going, eventually taken to ground. Another great contest by Ibiza at the breakdown.
Yeah, winning the breakdown, all important. Nice little reverse pass. Penalty to Ibiza as they got no advantage there.
Well, that's what's keeping them in the game at the moment, isn't it, John? The breakdown for Ibiza. Although they're kicking perhaps not quite up to scratch, although that did roll in just inside the touch.
That has gone, that's in fact the perfect kick. So it'll be a line out just 5 meters out from the Barefoot Project Lions try line. Remember, the try line, not the back line, it's the second line up, because the posts have to stay on the dead ball line as they can't be inserted into this artificial turf. Ibiza have done the first bit. They've come up with the ball from the line out. Bit of an unequal contest there, trying to go through the centre against a big strong tackler. And again, the passing lets him down. He was hoping it was going to run into touch. It didn't. He had to put it in the end. And so it's the Barefoot Project Lions line out.
Taken quickly.
Knock forward.
Well, they're putting boot to ball quite a lot, these Barefoot boys.
Yeah, I know they're too fit. So they don't look to have an enormous amount of pace. and therefore the thought of running in from perhaps 50 metres, not an option for them. So as soon as they get through, a little run and chase.
Well, just looking down their team sheet, they're full of vets, perhaps previously played at a good level, but they've still got some weight in the scrum.
Indeed. There's a gap there. He thought about it. Oh, it's broken, luckily, over to the left wing. Can he get over now? He's very, very close. That's the try line, you can see just in front. Oh, and that's a little half dummy straight in, right in front of the post too. So this time the conversion should be a formality.
Well, we thought at some point there he perhaps going to run straight through the post and into the net at the back, but stopped just in time. Successful conversion though, straight through the upright.
So now 12-7 to the Barefoot Project Lions, and Ibiza for the first time needing to play catch up.
We're about half an hour away from sunset, so the floodlights here in San Jose just switching on. Nobody really wanted to take that in the Ibiza backs.
Well, it was swirling around in the air. I think that was a good leave. I don't think I'd have wanted it. Poor pass though, it's now put them in trouble. And it was a forward pass, and the referee calling them back for a scrum. And once again, a great attacking opportunity for the Barefoot Project Lions.
They're fielding two teams this weekend, one in the elite competition as well, although I believe a few players will be spread between both sides. Five metres out, scrum for the Barefoot Projects.
Well, it was almost too good a hook, but it broke well in the end for the scrum half, and he was able to make the outside break. Good pace, good try, and that starts to create a real gap.
And no question in the end, was it? Too much pace, too big a hole. That's half time. Conversion not successful, and just looking at the expressions on the Ibiza side, their legs perhaps slightly more fatigued. The Barefoot Project Lions, the social side, going in at half time certainly happier. So Ibiza with the first score through their galloping giant wing, but the Barefoot Project's Lions getting 17 unanswered points. And this the opening score, John. We liked the look of this one, didn't we?
We did indeed. And as I'd like to see him in space from further out, because I think he's a bit of a lethal weapon.
Well, he's holding the ball in one hand like a tennis ball, wasn't he? Sprinting away, but Ibiza couldn't quite stop the response from the Barefoot Project Lions.
Yeah, as you mentioned in commentary at the time, it all going wrong for the defender, trying to get back there to cover everything, and only succeeding in the end in knocking it back and straight into the path of the rampaging Barefoot players. Simple try there as it opened up. Calling for support inside from the tacklers. He needed to stay wide because there was an overlap there, and it was used beautifully. That's just an outside break with too much pace.
Something you can't quite match, is it? Good bit of pace. Well taken by Ibiza. We mentioned kicking in the first half, John.
Yeah, not a bad thing to do from there, because they're not looking skillful enough to run it in from 70-80 metres, and at least they're playing all this rugby. You know, Barefoot have come back at them, but if that started another 40 metres up the field, they'd be over the line by now.
Yeah, a lot of pace shown out wide there by the Barefoot Project Lions, although it's going to be a scrum to the Ibiza Rugby Club. Player going to ground, getting his side of the pitch wrong. A great shot of us here up in the nice stand.
I don't know about a great shot. Under pressure, but he gets it away, decides to kick from the base, going backwards, does it well, and gets the chance. If the tackle had been better, that was a great chance to turn it over on halfway. Spins out of the tackle, decides to go himself. One to beat. Now, can he stop him? No, he can't. Ooh, he's got to be careful he doesn't go over that dead ball line. Gets it down. No problem at all, and that should be game, set, match for Barefoot Project Lions. Open that lead now to 22-7, and that'll take some coming back from.
Well, he had a lot of work to do, didn't he? It wasn't the easiest of scores, but the man who gave him the assist with the spin out of the tackle on halfway, creating the gap in midfield. Unfortunately, the conversion not quite matching the running skills for that try.
But he is a vet.
But he is a vet, yeah. We'll let him off. Both sides perhaps grateful they're playing in this slightly cooler evening in the heat of the day.
Yeah, it's not what we expect here, but I bet the players are really grateful.
Yeah, I'm sure. Bit of a pipe opener for the remaining 2 days of competition here. The RugbySpy Ibiza 10s.
Nice little shimmy, but the pass didn't match the work done before it.
Good shot of the nice idyllic scenery with it. Nestled in here in San Jose. As you mentioned, sun just coming into set. An opportunity, perhaps the first one of this second half for Ibiza, to try and perhaps get their second score of this game. They've been battered a bit in the first few minutes, and the experience of the Barefoot Project Lions coming to the fore. Tough scrum, but the scrum half's done well to get it away, although it has gone to a black and white shirt.
Yeah, gifted pass, the second one there. He's only going to put his head down and barrel forward, but holds on to the ball, manages to recycle it. That's the really important thing, the stab through.
Bounced up nicely there, and I think Daryl Chapman's going to his pocket just slightly out of picture. We didn't quite see what had happened, but it's the Barefoot Project Lions man who collected the pass that has been sent to the bin. I'm not quite sure what for, I couldn't hear. But the ball now in the hands of the pace man for Ibiza. Trying to find a gap. They've got an additional man here and it's fallen to the hands of their fly half. Looking to get the offload away. Scrappy on the deck.
But Ibiza have the knock-on advantage and no advantage to them, so they get the scrum at least. Signs of life there. Final pass again, just not quite going to hand. It's one of the things with rugby, when you've been brought up with it since you were a youngster, you gradually learn to stay cool in those situations, and you know that protecting the ball, as we call it, is very important. That the ball is precious and holding on to it is vital. Instead of trying the 9-to-1 shot pass, take an extra tackle, recycle it again, and go when you're in control.
Well, I've already seen the might of the Barefoot Project Lions at the scrum, so the Ibiza number 19 will do well if he can get it away to his outside backs. Constantly under pressure so far at the set piece.
Yeah, and they were aware of it. You're absolutely right, Scott. That heel was very, very quick. Get it out so they can't shove us.
He did a good job. The Barefoot Project Lions now looking to find some width. They are a man down. Last time they came down this flank, they came away with a sin bin, so looking for something slightly more profitable this time.
Well, somehow they've still held on to it. No offence there, said the referee. Well held, the pass wasn't great, but it was held, and that means it's another score to the Barefoot Project Lions. Very quickly taken conversion as well.
Conversion was good. The man and the try scorer not wasting any time to get that one through the uprights. Slotted very nicely. He showed a good turn of pace there to spot the gap and slide through the hole.
So this game now won already. The Barefoot Project Lions firmly in control.
Ibiza just getting some treatment there. One of their players a bit battered through the first 3 quarters of this game. Waiting for a substitution here.
Little knock forward there from Ibiza, so the scrum down 10 metres into the Ibiza half, put in for the Barefoot Project Lions.
You get a feeling that these two teams now fatiguing slightly, and they sense the end is nigh in terms of their opening game this weekend.
Certainly, Barefoot Project Lions, a lot of very experienced old hands there. They're just going to try and see out the last few minutes. Ibiza will be desperate to try and narrow that gap and show off their rugby skills. Well, that's surely... Oh, it's just a knock on. I thought he might have penalised him for holding onto the ball having been tackled.
Well, it was good intent by the Ibizan scrum half coming around there. And interestingly enough, he's got England rugby shorts on, so trying to show some pace down the outside. A lovely flick back inside, but it's fallen to a Barefoot Project Lions hand.
Yeah, it was a wild one. Got the skill to actually pull off the pass, but really not the judgment to know when to do it.
So a high tackle. Penalty to Ibiza, a chance to run out of their own half now.
Marginal high tackle. Again, Daryl Chapman deeming it not worth a yellow card. If it had been a bad one, he'd certainly have given it a yellow card. Good work by Ibiza. Setting it up. Now, can they get it away? Don't let them counter-ruck. Good stuff. Spins out of the tackle. Is there a bit more space? I want to see more of that man.
Just can't find any space for him, can they? But that's the end of our second game here at the RugbySpy Ibiza 10s. Match 2 of our opening evening. The final score: Ibiza Rugby Club 7, Barefoot Projects 29. The home side putting on a valiant show, but not quite up to the levels of the Barefoot Project Lions. And Daryl Chapman there just explaining the sin binning midway through that second half. He did say he'd got no problem with any of the players coming toward him and asking for a bit of clarification. But let's take a look at some of the highlights. And this was the opening score. A great start for Ibiza. Ball in two hands, step off the right foot, put it in one palm, and strolled away to dot down underneath the posts. I can't imagine they were expecting that. Great bit of footwork and lovely turn of speed. Well, this was the response from the Barefoot Project Lions. A kick forward, accidentally hacked backwards by an Ibizan player. A good option, chipping into space, but just as the Ibizan back went to try and collect it, it knocked forward or knocked backwards into his own try-scoring area. So another score for the Barefoot Project Lions. Again, just showing their speed, and this one coming at the end of that first half, sliding through the Ibizan defence. Shows the dummy and goes. No chance of being caught out at that point. And the start of the second half, after a lovely spin in midfield by the Barefoot Project Lions half-back, managing to get the offload away, and this perhaps the most simple of scores, cutting back against the grain, successfully converting his own try. No questions asked there. Ball in one hand and never really under any contests.
Simple conversion from in front of the post, and a real bunch up from the Barefoot Lions.